All right, everybody. You know what time it is. It's the Saturday morning Real Talk Sports Update coming up right now. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister, Jonathan Simmons, and we thank and appreciate all those of you who are watching us on various media platforms. But we're going to give a big shout out to those of you who are listening to us live right now on the replay, but listening to us on Saturday morning on the legendary WIGO Pace Sitter 1570 on your dial. Yes, there's still AM. And here's the good news. If you say, bro, that's old school, no problem. You can check us out online at wigoam.com. No, let me get that right. wigo1570.com. And remember, we are on the free TuneIn Radio app. Go and put in WIGO 1570 in the search engine, and voila, you'll find us broadcasting to you right here and right now. And please, for those of you who are, in fact, checking us out on YouTube, we appreciate you. If you could, please, sir, go ahead and set us up on your YouTube page. And what we want you to do is to subscribe. Just hit the link and, hit the bell, and we're right there. So appreciate all those of you who are doing so. So today we are looking at three different things today. Number one, we'll start off just a little bit with high school sports update. I should say primarily high school football update. Big weekend of high school football. Not as many people in in Clayton County, because Clayton County kind of has a little bit of a break, but we do have one of our favorite teams that played. We'll give you score updates from there. Then we want to talk to you about some WNBA action. Last night, it was some epic games going on last night, including one right here in our backyard. We'll talk about that. Also, we want to end the broadcast with something that's been on my mind. Doggone it. Kyle Pitts is hurt again. Here it is, the Falcons about to open up their season, and Kyle Pitts is now just hurt. Now, of course, anyway, we're going to talk about that later. Let's get right to our high school sports and high school football. First of all, big shout out to one of our featured schools for high school football coverage down here in Clayton County. We're going to actually leave their score for last. Let's go ahead and take a look around the county. First of all, Monday's Mill Tigers, a team that has been very good the last couple of years, kind of on a little bit of a decline. Lost a big to Carver, Atlanta, 37-37. They traveled up to the ATL and came back with a loss, 37-7. In a matchup, more of a rivalry type matchup, North Clayton knocked off the Riverdale Raiders, 28-20. And as I mentioned, guys, the big news was our featured team for Clayton County, which is the Jonesboro Cardinals, went on the road down in the South Fulton and knocked off the Banneker Trojans 34-12 in a dominant performance by the Jonesboro Cardinals. So again, big shout out to them. Meanwhile, let's go up the road to DeKalb County. Another featured school of ours did not do so well. We had Coach Jelks on from the Stevenson Jaguars, and he had warned me. He said, Decatur this year, the Bulldogs are a pretty good team. And in fact, at home, the Bulldogs knocked off the Jaguars 32-20. That's right. Decatur beat Stevenson 32-20. And they now, I believe, are undefeated for the season at 3-0. Keeping it in DeKalb County, the Stone Mountain Pirates got shellacked by St. Anne Pacelli. The Vikings knocked them off 48-7. Maynard Jackson hosting Redan Raiders. And again, another loss for DeKalb County. Maynard Jackson, pretty good team this year, knocks off the Raiders 33-7. Miller Grove pitches a shutout. They go on the road to Heritage and they hold the Patriots to 0. A defensive struggle. Miller Grove Wolverines 7, the Heritage Patriots 0. More in the way of DeKalb football. Another surprising team, Lithonia, a team that's not necessarily known for a big football program, knocked off a team who is. Lithonia crushes the Tucker Tigers 41-7. Big home win for Lithonia. Druid Hills picks up a big home win against the North Spring Spartans. They win 28-13. Lumpkin County rolls into Dunwoody and in a shootout. Lumpkin County 49, Dunwoody 35. And wrapping up some of our scores here, Cross Keys Indians, they couldn't get it done. They traveled down to Pinecrest. The Paladins knock them off 35-7. Another APS team chalks up a big win as Douglas goes on the road, comes up to Columbia, and they stomp the Eagles 46-21. Our last update, McNair Eagles lose a tough one to the Lodi Flames 20-16. And that's our high school football updates. We primarily specialize in high school from the south and east side, but if you got some great high school football stories, you know what to do. Hit me up. You can follow us on social media, tag us there. Real Talk Sports, the number 7, anywhere on social media, or you can hit me up personally at Minister J. Sim. If you are even better, if you want to be more precise about it, send me an email. Help jsimmons at realtalksports.net, or you can text me 678-410-9833. And we'd love to have you, your high school, your coaches on to join us here on the Real Talk Sports Show. So again, that's information here for those of you watching online. Again, it's jsimmons at realtalksports.net, or you can text me 678-410-9833. And like I say again, we've been one happy, man, to feature your school and talk to your coaches and get in contact with your people on location. All right, last night, big night for the WNBA because everybody thought the biggest game and the baddest game was going to be the Connecticut Sun, one of the top teams in the league, squaring off, if I can speak English, squaring off against the Las Vegas Aces. These teams are basically two of the best two teams in the league. Connecticut came in at number 3 spot, 24 wins and 9 losses. Meanwhile, the Las Vegas Aces had come in at 21-12, just 2 games behind them in the standings in the race for the playoffs, which is now only just a couple of weeks away. The Aces, behind probably the MVP, Asia Wilson, wins a big one over Connecticut. They get that win. Great win for them last night. Let's see if we can grab the scores up. And the final was Aces 76, Connecticut Sun 67. They went on the road to Uncasville, back to my home state, and pulled off the victory. You got to give a big shout out there to the Aces. And like I said, again, led by who I think is going to be this year's MVP again, Asia Wilson, 8 of 15 from the floor, 4 of 6 from the foul line, 8 rebounds and 2 blocks and 2 steals, 20 points from Miss Wilson. But she had big help from the sharpshooter Kelsey Plum. Plum posted up 27 points. She was a nifty 3 of 8 from 3-point range. She also 8 of 15 overall from the floor, 27 points for Plum, as she also dished out another, let's make sure her assist count is right, dished out a couple of assists as well. And last but not least, Miss Chelsea Gray was big, hit a couple of big 3-pointers, 13 points from Miss Gray. But like I said again, Asia Wilson hit some scores late to make sure the Aces held on for a 72-67 victory over the Connecticut Sun. And of course, everybody was watching that game. That was the game that was the marquee game. But meanwhile, right here in the ATL, we had our own marquee game as the Atlanta Dream fought back from a 16-point deficit in the fourth quarter to shock the Dallas Wings in overtime. That's right. The Atlanta Dream did what they had to do last night, shook up the world, came from down 16 points down, and overtime ran off a 11-0 run, 16-5 run as the Dream went 107-96. The place was rocking. We were there last night. Crowd was going bananas. Again, The Dream with a shocker, down 16 in the fourth quarter. The Dream outscored the Wings 23-17 in the fourth quarter, but more importantly, outscored them 15-4 in the overtime period as they went 107-96. And the big key to that victory is a young lady who has come back with a storm. I'm talking about Ryan Howard. She was awesome last night as she put up 33 points. 33 points from Miss Ryan Howard as she did her thing last night. She took care of business. And Ryan Howard, 33 points, second straight game of 30 points or more, tying the record that Angel McCoughtry had here, who was a perennial all-star for the Dream. So Dream looking like they're trying to pick up some steam as they fight for, believe it or not, even with their terrible record of 12-22, the Dream find themselves still in the playoff hunt. The WNBA allows 8 teams in the playoffs, and right now, that's right, right now, guys, I'm going to check the standings right now. The Atlanta Dream find themselves in a tie for the final playoff spot with guess who? The Chicago Sky, led, of course, by Angel Reese. Now, here's the reason why. The Reese-led Sky have fallen into a tailspin. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games. Meanwhile, the Dream, after been stumbling and bumbling for a good part of the season, now with completely healthy, have went 5-5 in their last 10 games, and had not been for a tight loss the other day, they would actually find themselves in that final playoff spot. But the bottom line is, Dream is still in the hunt, fighting for that final playoff spot in the WNBA, tied with the Chicago Sky. And here's the thing, guys, the last game of the season here in Atlanta, it's going to be the Dream against the Sky. So if you haven't caught WNBA basketball before, go on down to the arena at College Park. Great place to watch a game. It's only one level, so there's no bad seat in the house. So again, if you want to get the tickets, you better get them now because I'm pretty sure the game's going to be a sellout, and it'll probably be scalpers' delight. Last but not least, in the WNBA, I know there's been banter back and forth about Caitlin Clark, how good she is, blase. Here's the thing. Caitlin Clark now, this is a shocker, finds herself potentially in the running for MVP. That's right. Caitlin Clark was the WNBA Rookie of the Month for August. But wait, there's more. She was the Eastern Conference Player of the Month, period. That's right. And again, she has the possibility, I know this again sounds crazy, but she has the possibility and she has the cred right now because the Atlanta Fever, a team that is not that good of a team, she has them over 500. They're 18-17, and they're just 1 or 2 wins away from clinching a playoff berth. And let's look at her stats so far this season. Believe it or not, Caitlin Clark, the devastating three-point shooter, leads the WNBA in assists at 8.4 assists a game. That's right, guys, you heard me. Caitlin Clark leads the entire WNBA in assists per game at 8.4 a game. She also leads the entire WNBA with most three-pointers made. She's got over 100 three-pointers made so far this season. And, oh, wait, there's more for you fantasy guys. She's number 4 overall in fantasy points at 40.6. I don't know if that means anything to you, but that's the bottom line. So, again, Caitlin Clark, who a lot of people have disparaged, a lot of people said, hey, she's getting all this pub because she's a little white girl from Iowa. The stats don't lie. Leads the league in assists, leads the league in three-pointers made. I'm just saying. And it's averaging double digits for the season. Okay, so we need to kind of keep a lookout for young Miss Clark. Like I said, again, in the top 20 in all these different particular statistics. And that's not taking away from anything from Angel Reese, who leads the league in rebounds. Don't take it away from 13.1 a game. She's even better than Asia Wilson. But like I said, as far as someone who's made a huge impact, she won't get the MVP because that really does belong to Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson leads the league in scoring, second in the league in rebounds, and she's also in the top, and she leads the league in blocks. So it's going to be Asia Wilson. If it's not, it's going to be absolutely criminal. But the bottom line is that Caitlin Clark has been as advertised. Okay. That's it. Angel Reese as well. Like I said, she leads the league in rebounds. Don't want to take anything from her. But the bottom line is that Caitlin Clark has been a boondoggle for the WNBA, an absolute boondoggle. So Just telling you guys, if you haven't watched the WNBA game, check them out. Take a look, see what they got going on, and you'd be surprised the women play pretty good. Now there are times where their shooting is a little bit to be desired from time to time. I even saw that last night. There were stretches of the game before the Dream got hot. I was like, hey, y'all do know what a basket is, right? I mean, it was a little shaky. But to their credit, like I mentioned, the Dream came roaring back and came from 16 points down. Like I said, the place was rocking, and ended up winning the game in overtime by a score of 107-96. All right, guys, I want to take a quick break in the action. Uh, Falcons talk coming up soon, but you won't be able to hear that unless you keep it locked. For more of the Real Talk Sports Show, we'll be right back with more in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
This is Patrick Willis, and this is Real Talk Sports.
Coming up next, it's the Real Talk Sports Show, bringing you great sports talk with perspective. Now, here's our host, Jonathan Simmons.
Come back here, guys. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show. Again, I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for those of you who are listening to us on the legendary WIGO 1570, the new pace setter for alternative type radio here in the ATL. Also, big shout out to those of you who are watching us on various platforms and listening to the podcast on various platforms as well. I appreciate you very, very much. Okay, boys and girls, I'm feeling some kind of way. Why are you feeling some kind of way, preacher? I'm feeling some kind of way because, once again, this guy right here, Kyle Pitts, is injured again. Yeah, it was announced that Kyle Pitts has a slight hamstring injury, and he was kind of held out from full practice. Now, of course, we get all of the pushback from the Falcons and from Mr. Kyle Pitts himself, talking about we should not be concerned about his injury. But boys and girls, I mean, friends and citizens, men and women everywhere, we lost him for a whole season. The season when he came back, he really wasn't 100%. And me personally, if it was me, I would be inclined not to play Kyle Pitts on Sunday. Now, a lot of people say, preacher, you crazy? But I'm not doing it. I would not play him. Here's why. Because what he showed me when he was injured is that he's not, I mean, he's effective, but not so much. I mean, he was a guy that had to run a lot of routes, have speed. He couldn't really, he could not really make plays when we needed him to make plays. Even when, I know you say we have bad quarterback play, but bottom line, I just wouldn't play the guy. And here's why. You got a 17-game season. Not at 90% or 80% is a guy I really don't want to see per se, because like anybody that is hurt, you're going to not be able to do the things that you need to do at the level you need to do them at. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, I need a healthy Kyle Pitts. I really do. I don't need a Kyle Pitts at 80%. I could take maybe 95. But if he's less than 95%, I'm not playing him. Because here's why. We had 17-game season. It's a long season. I'd rather have the guy available for me later on than to go get him out there, maybe have him really aggravate the hamstring, and then have him really no good for the whole rest of the season. So if it's me personally, I'm not playing Kyle Pitts if he's less than 95% tomorrow. No, no, and no. I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it because, like I said, I don't want to run the risk for the rest of the season. And the other thing that kind of disappoints me about this whole Kyle Pitts thing is, it's kind of like the Falcons seem to always get guys that are not like 100%. Okay, I mean, even when I look at Matthew Judon, and again, I think he's going to be a great addition to the team, but he got a guy coming off a torn bicep, and as we know from seeing Vic Beasley with some of his injuries to the upper body, Tack McKinley, a pass rusher who's, a guy around 250, 260, going up against these big behemoths at offensive tackle that are 300 pounds, and you're doing arm bars and other things that are going to get around these guys. I'm wondering how effective Judon is going to be. And it just always seems that our key players, somebody's getting hurt, or somebody's not 100%. And again, maybe I'm just barking up the wrong tree, but I just don't want to see Kyle Pitts on the field unless he's at least 95% healthy. I don't want to see Kyle Pitts at 80%. To some degree, I only want to see him at 90% because I don't believe that he can give you the kind of play that you want. Now he claims, let me see if I can go to his social media page. He says, hey, the fans are kind of wigging out. Much ado about nothing. Let's see if I can get his comments here on Twitter if I can grab this. But he was like kind of like, fans are kind of doing too much. But here's why, because people are just concerned that here we go again. I mean, that's just the way it is. Everybody's concerned that are we back here again, the same situation where, we got a guy that can't go 100% for us in a time when there's huge expectations. And that's the other thing too, is speaking of expectations, what are your expectations for the Falcons tomorrow? Do you think this is the team that is going to be able to take this thing and win it? I think that they should, and I almost want to say I think they better. And the reason why is because I think this team has got, because of the expectations, this team's got a lot of pressure on it. A lot of pressure. I think that this team comes out, and I know they got a tough schedule, but if they come out 1-3, it's not going to be nice. You're going to have people hollering and screaming, and to some degree, rightfully so, because we've been led to believe that this is a team that should be a dominant team, especially offensively. So again, Kyle Pitts injured. What do you think? Me personally, I'm not playing the guy. I'm not playing him, guys. I'm just not going to do it unless he is at least 95%. I don't want to see 85. I don't want to see 90. Here's the headline. Some of the things on Twitter. Kyle Pitts, this is what he says. This is Mark Raimondi talking about this, and Kyle Pitts retweeted. Tight end Kyle Pitts, hamstring, comma, parentheses, says he has no concerns about playing this week, as limitations in practice today will only amount to missing 1 or 2 plays. Hashtag Falcons. Okay. I think we have another one here from Mr. Pitts himself speaking. This is what he says. He says, D, 2 less plays in a rack and got y'all concerned. And he got the ghost emoji. I'll see y'all Sunday. Thumbs up. So Kyle Pitts is saying we're tripping. He's saying he's going to be here. He's going to be ready to play on Sunday. And he thinks that fans are overreacting. And all I can say about that is like I said, I just need Kyle Pitts to be at least at 95%. Because keep in mind about Kyle Pitts. As much as we have been disappointed the last 2 years, his rookie season was stellar. I didn't realize that Kyle Pitts in his rookie season, you kind of almost forget he went to the Pro Bowl. But more importantly, in the NFL Top 100, which is voted by the players, Kyle Pitts was voted in the Top 100 after his rookie season. That's how well he played. Even though I think he only had 1 or 2 touchdown receptions, 1,000 yards. First guy to do it in the NFL since Mike Ditka. And granted that Kyle had more games to do it in, but the bottom line is he came out of the chute, and you were thinking, okay, all we got to do is increase the touchdowns, and we got something here. Well, since that time, like I say again, he gets injured. He's pretty much out for the season. Then when he comes back, he's really not the same guy because he's kind of nursing this bad leg. And guys, I got to tell you something. When the receiver's got a bad hamstring, that's not a happy situation, especially a guy who he's a tight end, but he's a wide receiver in a tight end's body. This is a guy who you expect to be able to occasionally get deep down the seam. This is a guy that you expect to be able to do some stuff with his speed as well as his height and physicality. So anyway, I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse. What's your prediction for the game? If you have a comment, you can go ahead and put up here on social media, or you can give us a call, 404-361-1571, and our producer will make note of your comments, and we will go ahead and post it. But I'm going to say it again, boys and girls. I'm not playing Kyle Pitts unless he's 95%. Because 90 and 85 won't do. Just not going to make it for me. But okay, let's kind of focus on the good things. The good things is that the rest of the Falcons offense is not injured. Now, of course, the other guy I'm worried about is the guy wearing number 18, Mr. Kirk Cousins. I know Kirk's not a mobile quarterback. We don't expect him to be doing rollouts and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the guy's 36, coming off an Achilles, and they're all saying he looks good. Let's just hope and pray Kirk Cousins at 100% after the Achilles. He won't be, but I mean, at least in terms of the injury not affecting him. So what are my predictions? My predictions is the Falcons should win this game. I'm thinking probably a final score of somewhere around 23-17. The biggest question mark is going to be for me is, can the Falcons offensive line do the type of pass blocking that you need for a quarterback who is primarily a drop back quarterback and has very limited mobility. And even if he was fully healthy and limited mobility, but especially now coming off an Achilles. So the big question is, can this offensive line, where everybody touts as one of the best in the NFL, can they keep him upright? Because remember, guys, there were multiple games where Desmond Ridder found himself on the run. Okay, so this idea of how great the Falcons offense is, I think they have one of the best offensive lines running the ball, no doubt about it. I mean, you talk about McGarry and all those other guys that are there. I think this Falcons team is stout on the run. This is the Falcons team where I saw a couple of years ago run a touchdown drive where they ran the ball 10 straight times. And they had Algiers just pound them. Speaking of Algiers, I think he's the guy the Falcons will have to use this year. And I know everybody's big on Bijan, generational player. People saying he can be the next Christian McCaffrey. I hope so. But I'm concerned. Another guy, injuries. I'm concerned about, can he take the type of wear and tear that the Falcons are going to allegedly throw at him in this year. So I hope that, again, that he gets plenty of spells and time not pounding the football because they're giving the ball to Algiers. So again, my prediction, Falcons, I'm going to say maybe 23-17 final, somewhere in that window. I think they'll be able to, the defense, I think should be able to hold its own against Russell Wilson. Guy coming into a new system, coming off a year where I think he's still trying to regain his confidence. And I think the Falcons defense is improved from where it was last year, especially on the pass rush. But, pressure is pressure. Russ is not the Russ he was 5 or 6 years ago. He's older himself. So, again, I think the Falcons should be able to pull this one off 23-17. I do not think that they should play Kyle Pitts unless he's at 95% or better. And he claims he's ready to go. But like I said, if he's not at least 95%, I won't do it. All right, guys, again, this is Sports Update on Saturday. So we got to get ready to wrap it up. Appreciate all those of you tuned in to check in with us. And really, again, I got to say it. I appreciate all those of you who listen to us on the podcast, listen to us on the replay. Many, many thanks and shout outs to each and every one of you. And last but not least, I want to make an announcement about our YouTube page. We have, as I announced last week, finally hit and now surpassed the 1,000 subscriber mark. We're now at 1,033 subscribers. Our next goal is 1,500. So guys, go ahead and go to our YouTube page and, like I said, subscribe. And if you're on regular social media, follow us anywhere. It could be on IG, it can be on X, Facebook, wherever you're at. Just follow us. We're at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. Well, like I said, we got to wrap it up here, guys. We thank you so much for tuning in to join us. I'm going to try something a little different. I just want to give you a word of inspiration. Please, boys and girls, friends and citizens, get to know the Lord. Take some time to just find out what I know, that the Lord is real. Check him out for yourself. All right, everybody, until the next time we get back together again, you know how we do it. We simply say, God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long, and take care. See ya.